Beat 1. Let me tell you about the day everything started unraveling in my life. I'm Elowen, 28 years old, and I've always been the one trying to hold our messy, blended family together like some kind of optimistic glue. I got married to Thorne just last year, and we live in this cozy little urban apartment downtown, with exposed brick walls and a tiny balcony that overlooks the bustling street below. Thorne's always buried in his startup work, staring at his computer screens from dawn till dusk, coding away on his latest app idea. That leaves me handling pretty much everything else, the grocery runs, the bill payments, and especially the family calendars. I coordinate all the visits and holidays because if I don't, things fall apart. It's made me vulnerable. You know, always opening our door to relatives who drop by unannounced, expecting me to play hostess while Thorne barely looks up from his keyboard. Welcome to Martha's Stories. I share new life stories here every day, and I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and liked my video. Drop a comment down below telling me where you're watching from and what time it is for you, right? Now, I read every single comment, and it helps me to know I'm not alone in this. That morning, I was in our storage closet digging through boxes for some old photo albums. We were planning a small anniversary get-together. Nothing fancy, just family. I reached for the garment bag where I kept my wedding dress. That beautiful ivory lace gown that meant the world to me. It was gone. I stood in the dim light of our basement storage locker, staring at the empty garment bag dangling from the rod like a ghost. The zipper hung open, mocking me, and dust motes swirled in the air as I yanked nearby boxes aside, their cardboard edges scraping my palms. Clothes tumbled out, old sweaters, forgotten shoes, but no ivory lace, no delicate beading that I'd worn just last year when Thorne and I said our vows. Thorne! My voice cracked, echoing down the hallway. I rushed into the living room, heart pounding. The cold January air seeping through the balcony door we'd left cracked. It was January 5th, and the new year already felt cursed. Thorne sat at his desk, hunched over his laptop, fingers flying across the keys. His startup was all he cared about these days, some app for tracking investments that kept him up nights. Thorne, my dress is missing. From the closet, it's just gone. He didn't even look up at first, his screen glowing blue on his face. What, your wedding dress? You sure you didn't move it? He pushed his glasses up, finally glancing my way with that distracted frown. Elowen, I'm in the middle of debugging this code. Deadline's tomorrow. Maybe check the laundry or something. His words hit like a shrug, dismissing me as if I was overreacting about a lost sock. I felt stuck, frustration coiling in my chest, slow and heavy like molasses. He went back to typing, the clack of keys filling the silence between us. I paced the kitchen, the tile cold under my socks, grabbing my phone with shaky hands. Who could have taken it? Vespera. My sister-in-law had stopped by 2 weeks ago. All smiles and excuses about needing to borrow a blender. She'd lingered near the hallway, chatting too long while I made tea. I remembered her eyes flicking toward the storage door, her laugh a bit too sharp. Family was supposed to be safe, but Vespera always pushed boundaries, especially with Isolde's wedding coming up. She'd made snide remarks at ours, calling my dress sweet but simple. Now this? I dialed her number, leaning against the counter, the smell of last night's coffee lingering in the air. It rang 3 times before she answered, her voice sugary. Elowen, hi. What's going on? I swallowed hard. My wedding dress is missing. You were here recently. Did you see it? Maybe accidentally grabbed the wrong bag? A pause. Too long, like she was choosing words. Oh no, honey, I wouldn't touch that. Probably misplaced it in your mess. Don't worry, things turn up. She laughed lightly, but it grated, making me feel small, invalidated. Anyway, gotta run, Isolde's fitting today. Click. She hung up, leaving me staring at the phone, frustration building like a storm I couldn't release. Thorne called from the other room. See? Told you it's nothing. But it was everything. My dress, my memory, stolen. That's when I remembered the GPS tracker. After that building break-in last year, I'd sewn the tiny device into the lining, hidden in the hem, linked to an app on my phone, just in case. My fingers trembled as I opened it, the screen loading slowly, map zooming in. A dot appeared, steady and accusing. It pinged right at Vespera's address across town. Beat 2. The dot blinked on my phone screen, steady and bright, right over Vespera's house on the map. I zoomed in, my thumb slippery with sweat, seeing the exact address pop up. Her suburban place with the white picket fence we'd visited for barbecues. The app showed movement history too, a line tracing from our apartment 2 weeks ago straight to her door. My stomach twisted, the coffee I'd had earlier turning sour in my throat. How could she? I sank onto the couch, the leather creaking under me, phone clutched tight like it might vanish too. Thorn, you have to see this. I stood up and marched back to his desk, shoving the screen in his face. The blue light from his laptop mixed with the app's glow, casting shadows on his tired eyes. He squinted, pausing his typing for once. What's that? A tracker? You put a tracker in your wedding dress? His tone was half amused, half annoyed, like I was being paranoid. Yeah, after the break-in last year. Remember? And look, it's at Vespera's. I pointed at the dot, my voice rising a bit. He leaned back, crossing his arms. Come on, Alawan. Maybe she borrowed it for Isolde's fitting or something. Family does that. Don't jump to conclusions. She's my sister. I felt that powerlessness hit me like a wave, slow and suffocating. Borrowed? Without asking? That's stealing, Thorn, and the app doesn't lie. He shook his head, picking up his coffee mug and taking a sip, the steam curling up. Stealing's a strong word. Call her again if you're that worried, but keep it calm. We don't need drama right before Isolde's wedding. My startup pitch is next week. I can't deal with family fights now. His words invalidated everything, making me feel like my feelings were just noise interrupting his day. I nodded, biting my lip, but inside, resentment started festering, hot and quiet. I paced back to the kitchen, the clock on the wall ticking loudly, marking every second I felt stuck. The app buzzed, a notification alert for recent movement. I opened it, seeing pings from yesterday. The dress had moved inside Vespera's house, probably to her sewing room where she alters clothes. My hands shook as I screenshot it, the phone's click sounding too loud in the empty room. Why was I the one always smoothing things over? Thorn never backed me up against his family, always choosing peace over standing for me. I grabbed a glass of water, the tap running cold and sharp, but it didn't cool the frustration building in my chest. Let's talk about this, I said, walking back to Thorn. He sighed, closing his laptop halfway. Elowen, you're overthinking. Vespera wouldn't steal. Maybe she thought it was okay since we're family. I set the glass down hard, water sloshing. Family? She lingered by the storage closet that day, and now this tracker proof. He rubbed his temples. Proof? It's a dot on a map. Could be a glitch. Don't accuse her. It'll blow up the whole family. Remember last Thanksgiving when you thought she took your recipe book? Turned out it was misplaced. That stung, erasing my valid suspicions like they were nothing. This is different. It's my wedding dress. He stood up, hugging me loosely. I know, but let's wait. It'll sort itself out. His embrace felt empty, leaving me more isolated. I pulled away, grabbing my coat from the hook by the door, the fabric rough against my fingers. I'm going to check the storage unit downstairs. Maybe there's a sign. Our building had a shared storage area in the basement, where I'd moved the dress after the closet got too full. Thorn called after me, Alawan, it's probably nothing. But I ignored him, heading down the stairs, the air getting cooler and mustier with each step. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as I reached the unit, my keychain jingling. I inserted the key, but the lock felt loose, turning too easily. I swung the door open, metal scraping concrete, and shone my phone flashlight inside. Boxes were shifted, one toppled over with papers spilling out. The garment bag's spot was empty, but the lock, I examined it closer, seeing fresh scratches around the keyhole, like it had been picked or forced. My breath caught, the damp basement air chilling my skin. This wasn't accidental. Someone had tampered with it. I took photos, the flash bouncing off the walls, my heart pounding slow and heavy. Back upstairs, I showed Thorn. Look at this. The lock's been messed with. He glanced, then shrugged. Could be from last time we opened it, or maintenance. Don't make it a big deal. His dismissal piled on, making me feel erased, like my evidence didn't count. Thorn, please. Support me here. He sighed. I do, but family's complicated. Let's not rush. The afternoon dragged, me sitting at the kitchen table, scrolling through social media to distract myself. But there it was, Vespera's X account, her latest post from yesterday. A photo of lace fabric, captioned, Exciting alterations for Isolde's big day. Family heirlooms make it special. No direct mention, but the lace looked just like mine, beading, glinting familiarly. Comments from family poured in. Looks gorgeous from our aunt, can't wait from cousins. No one questioning where it came from. I felt the resentment deepen, stuck in this web where everyone sided with her charm. I liked the post sarcastically, but deleted it quick, not ready to tip my hand. I texted my mom, fingers flying. "Mom, weird thing, my wedding dress is missing. Tracker says at Vespera's." She replied fast. "Oh, sweetie, probably a mix-up. Vespera's so helpful with weddings. Don't stir trouble." Even her invalidating me. I set the phone down, staring out the window at the city traffic below, horns blaring faintly. Powerlessness wrapped around me, slow like the winter dusk falling early. Family whispers in my head, overreacting, dramatic, alone. But the tampered lock, the app alerts, that post, they screamed injustice. I was erased in their eyes, my pain dismissed. How much longer could I stay stuck like this? Thorne came in later, carrying takeout bags that smelled of Chinese food, soy sauce wafting. Brought dinner. "Truce?" He set it on the table, plates clinking. "I'm sorry if I seemed dismissive, but really, talk to her tomorrow, no big scene." I nodded, unpacking the food, chopsticks snapping apart. "Okay, but it hurts, Thorne. Feels like no one believes me." He squeezed my hand. "I believe you, sort of. Just need more than a dot." We ate in silence, the food tasting bland, frustration lingering like the greasy aftertaste. That night, lying in bed, sheets cool against my skin, I checked the app again. The dot hadn't moved. Still accusing, still at Vespera's. Resentment kept me awake, the clock glowing 2 a.m., stuck in the dark. Beat 3. The scratches on that photo felt like proof I could touch, cold and sharp under my fingertip as I swiped back to the GPS app. The dot still pulsed at Vespera's address, but I needed more than a blink. Something to show movement, intent. I opened the full logs, my thumb scrolling fast through timestamps. December 22nd, 2:15 p.m. Device leaves our building coordinates, then pings at her house by 2:45 p.m. No room-by-room details, just general shifts. A wiggle at 10:42 a.m. today, another at 11:15 a.m. Like the dress was being shifted or unfolded. My pulse quickened, the coffee mug beside me forgotten, steam long gone cold. This wasn't sitting idle. She was doing something to it. "Thorne, come look at these logs." I stood up quick, crossing the room to his desk, the floor cool under my feet. He minimized his code window, leaning in as I held out the phone. "See? Exact time it moved during her visit. And these recent shifts, someone's handling it." His eyes flicked over the screen, fingers drumming the desk. "Okay, that's specific. But logs can glitch, right? Battery or signal bounce." I shook my head, voice tight. "No glitches. Matches the scratches downstairs." He exhaled, pushing back his chair with a scrape. "Elowen, if you're sure, what next? We can't just accuse her." I didn't wait for more doubt. I grabbed my laptop from the counter, keys clacking as I logged into the building's resident portal. After last year's break-in, management set up 30-day archived footage access for tenants. Had to request it via email, but they approved mine quick since I volunteered on the safety committee. The approval pinged in minutes, link opening the cam feeds. I typed in December 2010, heart thumping as the video loaded, grainy but clear. Lobby cam, Vespera entering at 2:10 p.m., coat bulky, glancing at the elevator but taking the stairs instead. Basement hallway feed, her at 2:12 p.m., pausing by our storage door, back to the camera. She knelt for a moment, hands out of frame, then stood with something tucked under her arm. Looked like a folded bag. Out by 2:15 p.m., head down. I paused the clip, screenshotting frames, the mouse clicks echoing sharp in the quiet room. "That's her," I whispered, zooming in on her face, the timestamp burned in white text. Thorne hovered behind me now, his breath warm on my shoulder. Damn. The way she's moving, sneaky. But why, for Isolde? I nodded, saving the shots. Has to be. Her wedding's soon, and she's always eyed my stuff. He rubbed his neck, voice wavering. "This is getting real. Maybe we should call her, ask straight." I shot him a look. "And give her time to hide it? No, I need solid ties to alterations." That's when I thought of the seamstress. Vespera had mentioned a local shop in the family chat last month, Elegant Stitches, near her suburb. I searched my phone for the number, fingers flying, and dialed before doubt could creep in. The line rang twice, a woman's voice picking up crisp. "Elegant Stitches, how can I help?" I swallowed, keeping my tone even. "Hi, this is Elowen Harlan. I think my ivory lace wedding dress was dropped off there for alterations, rush order, maybe under a different name. Can you check?" A pause, keys tapping on her end. "Let me see. Yes, we have a rush on an ivory lace gown, booked January 3rd under Vespera Harlan. Hem adjustments, beading tweaks. As the owner, I can send a generic confirmation invoice if you confirm details." I described the beating pattern quick, my voice steady but heart racing. That's it. Sending now. Check your email. Click. The inbox refreshed seconds later. Attachment opening to a plain invoice. Rush alterations. Ivory lace wedding dress. Client. Vespera Harlan. Deposit paid. Pickup January 10th. I stared at the screen, the black text blurring for a second as suspense hit peak. My hands shaky on the keyboard. Thorne read over my shoulder. Under her name for your dress. Allowin. This is proof. His voice had lost the doubt, edged with something like anger now. What do we do? I printed the invoice quick, the printer humming low in the corner, paper warm as it slid out. Not confront yet, she'll deny. I gathered it all, GPS logs printed, cam screenshots, the scratches photo, now this invoice, stuffing them into a plain folder from the drawer, the manila crinkling under my grip. The app buzzed again, a new timestamp, 1:22 p.m. shift, small but there. It fueled me, fast thoughts spinning. This showed theft in use, but not why, the jealousy, the intent to erase my piece of it. I needed one more layer, something undeniable about her motive, without tipping her off. I'd dig quieter, smarter. Beat 4. The invoice's edges crinkled as I tucked it into the folder, the paper still warm from the printer. My laptop hummed softly on the counter, screen casting a blue glow across the urban apartment's kitchen, where afternoon shadows stretched from the balcony. The GPS app pinged again, a 1:45 p.m. shift at Vespera's, sharp and quick, like fabric being tugged or pinned. My heart picked up, breaths coming shorter. Theft was one thing, but her reasons? I needed to peel that back now before doubt slowed me. I yanked open the junk drawer, fingers rummaging past tangled chargers until I found my old spare phone, dust-coated from months unused. It still had an iCloud backup from December 25th after her visit, before she could scrub anything. If she deleted messages later, this snapshot would still hold what existed at backup time. I wiped the phone with my sleeve, the glass cold and smudged, then plugged it in. The restoration started with a tap, progress bar inching forward, 10%, 25%, the device vibrating faintly on the granite. Thorne looked up from his desk across the room, his startup code scrolling endlessly. Elowen, what's that for? More evidence? His voice carried that edge. Conflict brewing under his usual avoidance. Old backup. If she sent shady messages in the family chat before deleting, they'll show here. He pushed back his chair, the wheels scraping tile, and walked over, hovering as the bar hit 50%. This feels like overkill. If you find something, we handle it calm. No blowing up the family. Sweat beaded on my forehead. The bar jumped to 75%, then 100%. The phone rebooted with a chime, apps flickering back to life. I opened the family group chat, thumb scrolling fast to December 23rd. There. 2 messages from Vespera that vanished from my main phone later. First to Aunt Mira. Snagged some ivory lace for Isolde's dress tweaks, family perk. But keep it from Elowen, she'd make a fuss. Sent at 9:12 a.m., timestamp glaring. Then to Cousin Leora at 10:45 a.m. It'll outshine her plain one easy. Hem needs fixing, but worth it for the wow factor. My fingers trembled as I screenshot them, the shutter sound snapping twice. AirDrop transferred them to my laptop in seconds, files landing with a soft notification ding. Got her, I muttered, printing the shots quick, the printer whirring, pages sliding out warm and inked. Thorne grabbed one printout, his eyes scanning the text. Outshine? Keep from you? That's not borrowing, it's deliberate. He set it down hard, the paper fluttering, his face flushing a bit. Startup deadlines forgotten for a moment. He paced 2 steps, then stopped. She's jealous, Elowen. Always has been since our wedding. Simple, but ours. This is her twisting it for Isolde. His support cracked through, unsettled, but he added quick, still, think about fallout. Family gatherings, Thorne's sister, it could get ugly. I nodded, but my mind raced ahead. Sensory overload from the printer's heat and the screen's glare. Those messages screamed intent. Secrecy, one-upping, erasure of my moment to boost hers. But I craved something audible, undeniable. My main phone's voice memo app, I tapped it open, scrolling dates with a flick. There, December 22nd, 1:58 p.m. start time. A 28-minute file from when I was brainstorming graphic design ideas in the kitchen. Recorder running forgotten as she arrived. I hit play, earbuds in, volume cranked. My voice first, pastel overlays for the logo. Doorbell buzz, footsteps. Vespera, Blender's here. Her steps echoed down the hall, then muffled words, like whispering to herself or a quiet call. Ivory lace from storage? Hem's fixable. Don't tell Eloan. After the wedding, she won't care. Outshine that basic setup. A soft chuckle, fabric rustle, then louder. Got it, thanks. Memo ended with door shut. I replayed the fragment 3 times, the audio fuzzy from distance but clear enough, intent to hide until after Isolde's big day, to overshadow my basic wedding. My chest tightened, breaths shallow as I exported the file, transfer bar zipping across the screen. Listen, I said, yanking out an earbud and handing it to Thorne. He plugged in, face going pale as the words played. After the wedding? Outshine? She's erasing you, Eloan, making our day seem small. He pulled the bud out, handing it back with a shake. This shakes me, but please, no rash moves. Pitch next week, I need focus. His avoidance lingered, but the shake in his hands showed he was rattled. Support edging in, despite warnings. I texted Quillen the audio file instantly, attachment sending with a whoosh. Verify this memo from her visit. Real? His reply buzzed back in under a minute. Checked metadata, created Deck 22, 1:58 p.m. File hash matches original, no mod timestamps, untouched. I screenshot his text, printing it swift, the page joining the stack in my folder, ink fresh and sharp. The motive crystallized fast, jealousy over our happiness, one-upping with Isolde's extravagance, intent to keep my dress secret until it was too late. Layers uncovered in a rush. Messages, memo, verification. My fingers flew organizing files, senses alive with the click of saves and the hum of devices. Proof of her erasure burned now, but timing mattered. I'd stay calm, control the strike when it hurt most. Beat 5. That control, timing the strike when Vespera least expected it, settled over me like a cold blanket, heavy but necessary. I set the folder down on the kitchen counter, the manila crinkling under my fingers, and glanced at Thorne. He was back at his desk, but his eyes weren't on the screen. They flicked to me, worried lines creasing his forehead. Eloan, with all this, the messages, the memo, we could end it tonight. Call her, demand the dress back. His voice was low, like he was testing the waters, his startup pitch notes scattered beside him. I shook my head, leaning against the counter, the granite cool through my shirt. And what? She denies? Hides it deeper? Family sides with her? Calls me dramatic again? No, Thorne. I need it public, with witnesses. Let her wear it at the wedding. Track it live. Catch her in the spotlight. D. He stood up, chair scraping, and crossed to me, his hands on my arms. Public? That's explosive. My pitch is next week, investors, stress, and family fallout? Vespera's my sister. I pulled back, gentle but firm. Can't deny the evidence now, can you? She's exploiting us. This waits. He sighed, nodding slow, unsettled but stuck. Okay, but I'm with you, imperfectly. I grabbed my phone, thumbs flying to text Quillen. Need you for live backup during the wedding weekend. Verify pings, log anomalies, spreadsheet or screenshots. The send whoosh cut the quiet, my pulse quickening under restrained calm. His reply buzzed in seconds. Got it. Share the app link. I'll set up a timed log. Movement alerts to us both. I forwarded the access code. Simple shared view through the app's family feature. No fancy hacks. Thanks. Wedding Saturday, rehearsal Friday. Quillen texted back. Logging starts now. First entry. Ping at her address. Timestamp 3:12 p.m. Jan 5. No anomalies. I saved his message, adding it to my digital dossier, an encrypted folder on my drive. Compiling everything. GPS logs, cam shots, invoice, recovered messages, memo fragments, his earlier verification. Files uploaded fast, each beep building my quiet hunt. Tension gnawing my gut as I imagined her finding the hem tracker if I pushed too soon. The week dragged tense, me holding outward control while inside the pains gnawed deeper. Tuesday, Vespera texted the family chat. Rehearsal dinner Friday at my place. Can't wait to show off the vintage look. Attached a selfie in my dress, hem altered, lace gleaming under her lights. My thumb hovered over reply, betrayal stinging fresh, but I typed neutral. Sounds great. Thorne saw it over dinner, our apartment kitchen smelling of takeout stir-fry, plates clinking. She's wearing it for mother of the bride. Isolde has her own gown. I nodded, fork pushing food around. Repurposed mine to steal the spotlight. Track it. The app alerted a movement timestamp, 0:45 p.m. shift, general location her home. Quillen logged it. Screenshot sent, steady ping. I added his note to the dossier, restraint testing me as family likes poured in on her post, erasing me further. Wednesday and Thursday blurred, me at my design desk sketching logos to distract. But the app pings came steady, small shifts like her trying it on, timestamps updating. Quillen emailed a simple spreadsheet, columns for date, time, location notes, anomalies column blank so far. Verify during events, he wrote. Thorne tried support bringing coffee Thursday night, steam curling as he sat beside me. This waiting, it's killing you. I sipped, hot liquid burning my tongue. Has to. Public proof trumps private fight. He squeezed my knee, unsettled eyes on mine. Just don't lose yourself. His pitch prep loomed, papers rustling, but he lingered longer, conflict pulling him. Friday's rehearsal dinner hit like a gut punch. The drive to Vespera's suburban house slick with rain, wipers thumping. We parked amid family cars, the porch light glowing warm but false. Inside, the air thick with garlic from catered pasta, laughter echoing off walls. Isolde twirled in her sleek modern gown, all smiles, but Vespera commanded the room in my dress, ivory lace hugging her, beading catching light as she posed for photos. Vintage find repurposed just right, she boasted to Aunt Mira, glass of wine in hand. Family praised her. You look radiant from cousins. Steals the show from Uncle Reese. I stood by the buffet, plate in hand, smiling through it as betrayal and exploitation twisted inside, their compliments erasing my wedding day like it never happened. Powerlessness flooded me. Why not demand it now? She'd deny, claim it hers. Family dismiss my drama. Hide the dress and maybe spot the tracker before witnesses saw. No, wait for Saturday's full crowd. Vespera caught my eye across the room, her head tilting. Allowin', you're quiet tonight. Everything good? Suspicion flickered in her gaze, but she shrugged it off with a laugh, turning back to toasts. Humiliation peaked there, me invisible in my own pain, down to the floor internally as I nodded. Just tired, dress looks nice. Thorne gripped my hand under the table, his palm clammy, whispering, hang in. Quillen texted during, ping here now, log updated, screenshot of timestamp. We left early, rain pattering on the car roof as Thorne drove, city lights blurring. Back in the apartment, I sat alone on the bed after he crashed out, laptop open, finalizing the dossier, adding rehearsal pings, family chat screenshots of her boasts. The app glowed, dot blinking at her address like a steady accusation. Invalidation echoed in my head, erasure complete until tomorrow. But I'd committed, stay calm, control the strike at the wedding, when exposure would shatter her most. The folder saved with a click, shut like a lid on her lies. Mitad 6, the wedding reception hall pulsed with laughter and clinking glasses. The string quartet's notes floating over the polished dance floor on that Saturday. I stood near the edge of the crowd, my simple black dress hugging me tight, phone clutched in my hand like a weapon. Vespera moved through the guests like she owned the room, my stolen wedding dress glowing under the chandeliers, ivory lace fitted to her frame, hem brushing the floor with every step. She raised a champagne flute for another toast, her voice booming over the speakers. To Isolde and her perfect day, family heirlooms make it all the more special. Applause rippled, family nodding along, but my thumb hovered over the app. The tracker pinging right here at the venue, a general location alert timestamped 6:45 p.m. The final second ticked by, power building in my chest like a storm ready to break. I slipped toward the DJ booth, laptop under my arm, the dossier loaded as a slideshow. The tech guy glanced up from his mixer. Need something? I kept my voice low. Surprise tribute? Mind if I plug in HDMI? Screen's right there. He shrugged, pointing to the port on the venue's AV setup. I connected the cable quick, the click solid, input switching with a flicker as the projector hummed to life behind the head table. Vespera caught the screen lighting up mid-sip, her smile freezing. What's this now? Murmurs started as I stepped to the mic stand nearby, grabbing the cordless one from the DJ's setup. Everyone, a quick family story before we continue. My voice came out steady, but inside it exploded, satisfying, like reclaiming air after holding my breath too long. I clicked the remote in my pocket, first slide up, the GPS map, logs showing movement from our building to her address. Timestamp December 22nd. That's my wedding dress Vespera's wearing tonight, stolen from our storage unit. Gasps cut through the air, Uncle Reese setting his plate down with a clatter. Vespera laughed sharp, stepping closer to the screen. "Allowin', honey, this is ridiculous." "You're mistaken. Vintage buy, nothing more." Her eyes darted to Thorne beside me, pleading. "Tell her, brother. She's overreacting again." I clicked next, building cam footage screenshots filling the screen. Vespera entering our lobby at 2:10 p.m. that day, heading to the basement corridor, bending at our locker door for a minute, then leaving with a bulky bag under her arm. "Time-stamped proof of you there, taking it." The room tensed, Cousin Leora whispering loud to her husband. "That does look like her." Vespera waved it off, voice rising. "Coincidence! I was visiting Blender, remember? Allowin', you're unstable, making this up to ruin the day." She moved toward the DJ booth, hand outstretched like she'd unplug it herself, but the tech guy blocked her casual. "Ma'am, wait." I advanced the slide, my own photos of the locker damage, close-ups of the scratches on the latch and the cut zip tie on the floor. "Not coincidence. You forced it open." "Family split then," Aunt Mira frowning at Vespera. "Explain that." Others pulled out phones, filming the screen, whispers turning to mutters. Isolde stood frozen by the cake table, her new husband gripping her arm, loyalty cracking on her face. "Mom, is this true?" Vespera spun to her, then back to me, gaslighting harder. "She's jealous, always has been. Our family's happy, hers is falling apart. Turn that off." She lunged for the remote on the booth edge, fingers grazing it, but Thorne stepped in, grabbing her wrist, gentle but firm. "Stop, Vespera, it's over." His voice cut clear, no neutrality left, shaken, but choosing me publicly as the room watched. I clicked again, the alteration shop invoice under her name, details matching the ivory lace gown. "You had it rushed for yourself to play Mother of the Bride star." Outrage built, Uncle Reese standing. "Stealing from your own sister-in-law?" Vespera shook her head frantic. "Borrowed." "She forgot, Eloan, tell them." But the crowd shifted, phones aimed at her now. Satisfaction hitting me like a rush as her control slipped. Next slide. The recovered messages from my backup, blown up large. "Keep it from Eloan. Outshine her plain one." Whispers exploded into voices. "Outshine? That's mean." Isolde's eyes welled, stepping back from her mom. "You said it was vintage. Why lie?" Vespera turned on me, voice cracking high. "Those are faked." "She's tech-savvy, manipulated them." She tried to rally, pointing at Thorne. "You believe her over me? Your sister." But he shook his head. "The evidence doesn't lie." I hit play on the voice memo, speakers filling the hall with the muffled fragment. "Ivory lace. Don't tell Eloan. After the wedding, she won't care. Outshine that basic setup." Static hissed, but the words landed hard. Isolde gasped, hand to mouth. "That's your voice, Mom." Family divided sharp, some defending Vespera with murmurs like family mistake, others glaring. Phones recording her every flinch. The final hit. I held up my phone, projecting the app live. The tracker ping updating with a fresh timestamp movement detected at the venue. General location right on her. The tracker I sewed in the hem after our break-in, pinging you now. Quillen's text came through perfect, and I read it aloud. "Live log confirms. Ping at venue. Timestamp 7:02 p.m. No anomalies." Vespera paled, hands clutching the lace like she'd rip it off. "This is harassment. I'll sue. Turn it off." She charged the booth again, shoving past the tech guy, fingers yanking at the HDMI cable. Screen flickering wild. Chaos erupted, guests shouting, Isolde breaking down in sobs. Her husband pulling her away as the wedding threatened to unravel. Thorne blocked Vespera, the room splitting into yells. "Give it back!" from cousins. "Security!" from the venue staff rushing in. Vespera cornered against the table, dress hem tangling her feet. Eyes desperate and dangerous as she glared at me, like she'd tear everything down with her. Beat 7, the venue manager, burst through the crowd then. His name tag reading Mark glinting under the chandeliers, clipboard in hand as he waved down the security guards. "Everyone stay calm, let's not ruin the night further." His voice cut through the shouts, firm but even, directing the 2 guards toward Vespera as she backed against the head table, her hands still clutching the lace like it was armor. Isolde crumpled into her husband's arms, her sobs ragged and loud, mascara running down her cheeks. "Mom, just stop, please." The guards flanked Vespera, gentle but insistent, one murmuring, "Ma'am, come with us to the back office. We need to sort this." She resisted at first, twisting away with a desperate shove that snagged the hem on a chair leg. A sharp rip echoed, small but clear, the fabric tearing just above the ankle. My stomach dropped at the sound, but I held still, watching her get escorted out, the crowd parting with a mix of glares and whispers. Phones were still up, capturing every second, the air thick with the scent of spilled wine and cooling hors d'oeuvres. Thorne stayed by my side, his arm around my shoulders now, shielding me as family closed in. Aunt Mira hugged me quick, her perfume floral and overpowering. Elowen were so sorry we should have seen it. But Cousin Leora hung back, her face tight, whispering to her husband before stepping up. "You were right about the dress, but doing this at the wedding. That was low, ruined Isolde's day." Her words stung, invalidation creeping back in, but Thorne cut in sharp. "Leora, back off. Vespera's the one who stole and lied. Allowance waited long enough." He squeezed my shoulder, his voice steady, turning to the group. "No more blaming her. Anyone wants to talk, go through me." The tension eased a bit, nods from Uncle Reese and others, but the split lingered. Some family drifting away with awkward glances. Mark the manager approached then, wiping his brow. "We've got her changing in the office, supervised. We'll bag the dress and hand it over. Police if needed." I shook my head. "Not yet, just the dress." He nodded, disappearing into the back. Minutes stretched like hours, the quartet starting up soft again to fill the awkward quiet. Guests milling with half-eaten cake plates. Isolde came over, wiping her eyes, hugging me fierce. "I believe you, Aunt Elowen. Mom's always been competitive. I'm sorry." Her husband added, "We'll make her fix this." Finally, Mark returned with a black garment bag zipped shut, the venue logo stamped on the side. "Here you go. Supervise the whole change. She's cooling off in there." Thorne took it from him, slinging it over his arm. "Thanks." We slipped out the side door, rain pattering light on the parking lot asphalt, the bag heavy in Thorne's grip as we got to the car. The drive home was silent at first, city lights streaking the windows, my hands shaking from the adrenaline drop. At a red light, Thorne glanced over. "You okay?" I nodded, but tears pricked my eyes. Just relieved. Back in our apartment, the door clicked shut behind us, the familiar hum of the fridge grounding me. Thorne hung the bag on the bedroom door hook, unzipping it slow. The dress tumbled out a bit, ivory lace rumpled, and there, the small tear in the hem, threads frayed where the chair leg caught it. I touched it gentle, the fabric soft but damaged, a visceral pang hitting me like a quiet punch, my wedding day torn in her panic. "It's fixable," Thorne said, pulling me into a hug, his shirt smelling of the venue's cologne mix. "We'll get it mended." I let the tears come then, emotional release flooding out in sobs against his chest. "She almost destroyed it all." He held me tight, rubbing my back. "But she didn't. You got it back. And I'll handle the family texts, set boundaries, no more dismissals." His phone buzzed already, messages lighting the screen, but he silenced it. "Tomorrow. Tonight, rest." The next days unfolded steady, calm, settling like dust after a storm. Sunday morning, Quillen texted, "Logs saved and archived. Ping stopped once it left her. Tracker's yours now." I replied thanks, removing the tiny device from the hem later that afternoon. Its plastic cool in my palm, a reminder of my quiet edge. Thorne fielded calls, his voice firm on speaker. "No, Aunt Mira, Elowen doesn't owe explanations. Vespera's the one apologizing." By Tuesday, Vespera messaged me direct. Her words clipped. "I'll cover the repair and alteration costs. Send the bill." No full sorry yet, but Thorne pushed her in a family call Wednesday. "Pay up, sis, and stay away till you make it right." She wired the money Friday, a few hundred for the seamstress fix. The tear mended neat by then. Family adjusted slow. Uncle Reese invited us to dinner without her, saying, "She's excluded for now. Lost our trust." Isolde called weekly, our bond tighter, no more overshadowing. Weeks turned to a new equilibrium, Thorne sharing more at home, errands, decisions. His startup pitch going well without the family weight. I dove back into design work, sketches flowing free, the apartment quieter but fuller. Vespera faded to edges, her calls ignored till she sent a real note months later. I was wrong. Jealousy blinded me. Sorry. We met once, neutral ground, her face drawn, but forgiveness came slow, boundaries firm. No full return to gatherings for her yet. The estrangement a deserved quiet. I felt freed, voice reclaimed, the pains of betrayal easing to scars. One evening, I folded the dress away in storage, the hem smooth now. Tracker set aside on the shelf like a closed chapter. The apartment breathed easy around me. Thorne's laughter from the kitchen mixing with dinner sizzles. Peace finally mine. Have you ever felt that the person who hurt you the most is the one you trusted the most? If you've ever experienced being doubted, blamed, or hurt without being able to speak out, leave a I comment or briefly tell your story. No one is judging you here. We're just reminding each other of one thing. The truth may come late, but it always finds a way to be revealed. And if you want more stories like this about justice turning around, remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episode. On screen right now, you'll see 2 new stories I think you'll really enjoy. There are many more waiting for you on the channel. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss one. See you in the next story. Until then, take care of yourself and the people you love. With all my love and respect,